Well, we go back from the break and you're watching Smart Means Business, your daily Kickstarter. We're off to our last hour of the show. Of course, the show that is dedicated to giving you business information front foot from 6:30 a.m. to 9:50 in the a.m. And of course, wherever you're cutting up the show from, it's very important for you to at least keep up the speed with the business information that is vital and quite helpful for your business in the country. But well, speaking of more of the business world and getting more information, you should as well try to understand the aspect of investment. And investment within the country goes back to the Zabo platform, which has given you the opportunity to invest in government bonds with just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. For you to invest, all you need to do is use the USSD code *292#, and it will definitely be a no hassle for you, as you will see your money set up your future. Zabo is powered by Otex East Africa, which says do something new. And the only new thing that you can definitely choose to engage in is by investing in government bonds. And of course, you will see your money grow into something bigger and something better at the end of the day. Zabo has markets that open at 8:15 a.m. and these markets definitely close at 3:15 p.m. from Monday to Friday. But also be reminded that the markets are closed on public holidays and during the weekend. Zabo says it's a no hassle for you. So my money, my future is with Zabo. So away from that, we get to our SMB Insight this morning, as we're going to be looking at the government revenue mobilization strategy for the upcoming financial year 2023-2024. You remember we are now into the second quarter of the current financial year of 2022 to 2023. And according to the Uganda Revenue Authority, tax policies and tax reforms will be required come 2023-2024, with 6% growth as a target for the upcoming financial year. Now, on the other hand, the taxman has apparently listed challenges on how to collect revenues, all the challenges that they've been facing throughout this financial year. And then, of course, there is also a claim that the legislators want the Uganda Revenue Authority staff to get an increment in salary, because it is not fair for someone to be manning over trillions of shillings in terms of revenue collection and earning only 3 million or less. That is according to some of the legislators in Parliament. Now, Uganda Revenue's performance for the last financial year is well highlighted within this particular insight, where we get more from John Musinguzi, who is the Commissioner General of the Uganda Revenue Authority, as well as Amos Tokolobi, the State Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Now we get more of this particular one from our SMB Insight.
Mr. Chairman, Government's revenue strategy in financial year 2023-24 is to continue the implementation of the Domestic Revenue Mobilization Strategy, commonly called DRMS, for the medium term. The Domestic Revenue Mobilization Strategy contains both tax policy and tax administration reforms, whose core objectives are two. The first one being to mobilize sufficient revenue up to a tune of 16% of gross domestic product, GDP, by 2024-2025. That's our target. The second one is to provide the right incentives to support industrialization and the development of domestic value chains. Mr. Chairman and honorable members, government will also continue to use the tax system to improve the welfare of citizens, promote investment for employment, import substitution, and export promotion. In the financial year 2023-24, government will maintain the current revenue momentum by increasing domestic revenue collections by 0.5% of GDP from a projected shillings 25,551 billion, or in short you can call it 25.5 trillion shillings in the current financial year 2022-23 to shillings 28,831 billion, or 28.8 trillion shillings in the financial year 2023 2024. This implies that in financial year 2023-24, government projects to generate an additional 3,280 billion shillings or 3.3 trillion shillings compared to projected revenues for financial year 2022-23 of shillings 25,551 billion. The revenue effort is to be driven mostly by improvements in tax administration, not through new tax measures. Therefore, the projected additional revenue of 3,280 billion will be generated from improved levels of economic activity as the economy is expected to expand to about 6% next financial year, and implementation of tax compliance measures, which Uganda Revenue Authority is going to elaborate, Mr. Chairman. We are counting on this committee's usual support and guidance to provide the required support to URA, and more specifically in the context of the budget for financial year 2023-2024. And Mr. Chairman, we want to applaud this committee for the support you have been giving to Uganda Revenue Authority, always.
Challenge, Honorable Chair and members, is the low level of automation and standardization of data. As we try to expand the tax base, there is need for government to share data across the MDAs, and what we are finding is that a lot of data is acquired without uniform standards, therefore becoming difficult for institutions to share. But also some of the MDAs are still very low in the automation journey. So data is there, but still manual. The next challenge, Honorable Chair and members, is on the welfare of the staff of Uganda Revenue Authority. The salaries that the staff are earning are very low, to the extent that they may be an incentive for some people to dip their hands into monies that don't belong to them, therefore encouraging corruption tendencies. But also, very important, Honorable Chair and members, the staff are inadequate. And as I'll be explaining later on in this presentation, the numbers are small and overstretched. And also because of the earlier challenge of low remuneration levels, we are also losing a number of competent staff going to where their services are better appreciated. And as you may agree, honorable members, it takes a long time to train a proper tax officer, and when we lose these officers, it takes us time to replace them. Honorable Chair and members, the alignment to the government program is on the next page. URA is the leading implementing agency under the Development Plan Implementation Program, DPI, under the NDP3. The goal of the Development Plan implementation is to increase efficiency and effectiveness in the implementation of the NDP3. URA majorly contributes to 2 of the 6 objectives of the DPI program. Number 1, strengthening budgeting and resource mobilization, hence the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, and also strengthening the research and evaluation function for better inform planning and plan implementation. The alignment to government program, URA plays key roles in 7 other NDP3 programs for stakeholder management in the delivery of the DRMS. These are manufacturing, sustainable energy development, sustainable urbanization and housing, private sector development, public sector transformation, governance and security, and digital transformation. Performance of the first quarter of the current financial year 2022-23. On the wage, we've so far spent 46.099 billion out of the release of 51.374, the budget for quarter one, and this is 89.734%. Again, why it's not 100%, the number of positions that have since fallen vacant because of staff that have left, and the total is about 188. Sorry about that, 188. On the non-wage, we have performed at 98.944%. We've spent 71.8 billion out of the 72.569 billion that has been released. And the number of ongoing procurements, and by the end of the financial year, we hope that we'll have spent most of the resources available to us.
So that particular one that's updating on was actually updating us on the government revenue mobilization strategy for the next financial year, 2024 from 1st July area till 30th of June 2024. And speaking of the budget framework paper was released or was presented to the committee in Parliament. It was earlier this week. And of course, these are some of the discussions that we are still following up here on Smart Means Business, and as well as in our Business Today bulletin. And speaking of Business Today, we do have Samna Hanifa joining us on set this morning to discuss about what she's working on, and basically the discussions and conversations leading to the national budget and a breakdown of the sectors and how much they will be receiving. Samna, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Joram. Thank you for having me.
I think last time we had you here, we were discussing about the budget framework paper.
Yeah.
And thank God now you're back here. You did promise us that you'll be back to give us more of the developments that are coming up with the budget.
Yeah, I'm back, and thank you for having me today.
Okay.
The budget framework paper was presented in Parliament this week on Monday.
Okay.
And it is finance that appeared. Of course, it is finance. It is finance's job to present the budget framework paper to the Committee of Budget, and then it is the budget committee still mandate to officially send it to sectoral committees. So now the sectoral committees are looking at each sector by sector, how each sector has performed or is still performing this financial year, and then it will determine their budget for the next financial year. Yeah, and today I'm looking at health. Yeah, the health sector. Today the health sector is presenting their budget framework paper in the health committee. They are looking at how health has performed, the money that was allocated the last financial year, how has it performed, where have they used that money.
Okay.
What is missing? Where is the missing gap? Now that Uganda is going to focus on manufacturing vaccines, we are going to in the Africa US summit that has just ended. Uganda presented itself as this financial year we are going to focus on manufacturing our own vaccines. And I remember Parliament approved money. During the COVID period, it approved money for that very cause of us manufacturing our own vaccines. I'm sure even the Committee on Health is interested to know at what stage are we what vaccines are we going to focus on manufacturing? And will these vaccines be embraced by Ugandans? Because even now, even the vaccines that are foreign to us, not all the Ugandans have embraced these vaccines. Remember the COVID, the president last time was complaining, Ugandans have refused to take vaccines. Will they take the Ugandan made? We Ugandans don't trust our own things that we make.
Oh.
So those are some of the things that I really need I really need to focus on looking at.
Well, with the discussions you've been having with some of the legislators, on your findings, which sectors do they wish should have more funds allocated
Exactly.
in the next financial year?
Yeah, thank you. We all know that this year, the COVID period affected all of us.
Yes.
And what people need to know, what every Ugandan wants to see is that money is put in a productive venture, something that is going to bring in more money. What are those sectors that bring in more money for the country?
Okay.
Let's say agriculture. Agriculture this time around, when they presented the budget framework paper, it wasn't given money as they expected it. Yes, the minister said we are going to mechanize agriculture. We have brought tractors and all these other incentives, and we are going to focus on irrigation, like the president keeps saying. But then the money, Okay, yes, parish development model. Parish development model has been given money, yes, but they think this money is not enough because not even everyone has touched the parish development model money.
Okay.
When we look at tourism brings in more money into the country, but it does not. It has been allocated 89 billion only. You see that the money for tourism does not increase. Yet these are the sectors that bring in money for the country.
Well, I've apparently seen also somewhere some legislators saying underfunding tourism.
Yeah, underfunding, and legislators have been complaining over and over. I don't know why government does not focus on tourism. Make it now that there's a senior report that said Uganda is the best destination, tourism best destination. So I think government should have focused on that and then put money so that more tourists can come in.
Okay.
Yeah. One legislator yesterday gave an example of Qatar. Qatar during the World Cup, they invested in a lot of money to boost, to make people want to come to Qatar. Qatar is a desert.
Yes.
It is hot, but so many people went there for the World Cup. That means they put in a lot of money to advertise their country, to make it loved by the world, so that people can come in. It is now I am sure even after World Cup, so many people are going to be going to that small country for tourism. Yet there is nothing there to see. Apart from the buildings and the skyscraper buildings that they have. At Uganda, we have a lot here. We have so many. First of all, our climate itself is good. We have animals. We have the chimpanzees. We have so many things to attract tourists. So they say, even me, I think it is really viable to put money in productive ventures like tourism and agriculture, because they are the backbones of our economy.
Okay. And of course, someone if here breaking down, according to the budget framework paper, which is close to 49.8 trillion.
From 881
trillion Ugandan shillings of the budget framework paper that was
presented
to the committee in Parliament. Now, furthermore, as we're summing up with this discussion, what else should we expect from the same report that you will be presenting before the viewers on Business Today?
The viewers should expect, of course, what health, because health, we've been having issues like the pandemics and the epidemics, the Ebola now. What money is the health workers have been crying out to government? Even up to now, people they don't get their salaries. If you don't pay workers, health workers, where do you put, where are you leaving the country? Because nurses are going to leave this profession, health workers are going to disappear, they will go for greener pastures, and you leave the country at the mercy of people who are not supposed to be in that profession. These people, for crying out loud, health workers should be paid. People who helped during the Ebola period should be paid. The doctors should be paid. Those are some of the things that I expect to report about in today's bulletin.
Okay, and of course you can get more proceedings of the same matter on Business Today tonight at 9 p.m. and Sam Nanifa will be bringing you that and more from the August House here in Uganda, matters regarding the national budget and of course the preparations and the progress of the budget allocation for the financial year 2023-2024. Smart Means Business will take a break now and we shall return with Baridi Andrew at the half-hour mark on ground with more business updates.